Hello. All of your questions are getting answered. Well, that's not true. Some of your most asked questions will be getting answered on this live. Surprise live. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. I'm Ashley. On this channel, I share my experience of living and doing business and moving here on the continent. I'm currently in Tanzania and we're hosting the Travel, Move, Do Business virtual conference this weekend. And I want to answer some of your top questions about the virtual conference, but also get you answers to the questions that you're most asking me in the comments, right? So I just did one over on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should follow me on Instagram as well. But either way, you're in the family. I want to hop in. So if you'd like to be greeted, say hello, a chat. This is my first time going live on the YouTube actual app, so it's a little different for me. There's a bit of background noise, but let me know if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. And like this stream, right? So there are 10 of us here. Everybody should be liking. Everybody should be liking this stream. So like the stream. Let's get it up to 10 likes in the stream. Hello. Great to great. Tanzania is beautiful. Can't you see I'm outside? The ocean is here to my right. It's beautiful. Hello, Miss C88 or Miss C888. Hello. Good to see you. Like this stream, guys. There's 10 of us now, 12 of us in the stream. Like this. Help other people find out about this content because I'm answering their questions, right? So you guys have a lot of the same questions, and I want to answer them because it's important that we get some clarity for a lot of you guys that have these questions. I want you to come to the virtual conference, but I ultimately want you to feel confident about some of the questions that you're asking. And the biggest one that I get asked recently is, do you have multiple citizenship? Oh, Habari Dada, Poa, Safi, Malika, good to see you. Tanzania or Rwanda, for me, is Tanzania. For me, Mimi, Tanzania kabisa. Sawa? So yes. But the top question that people ask is, do you have dual citizenship? And I think for people specifically from the US, maybe even Canada, the UK, we have a very interesting relationship with immigration and citizenship, right? So we just think, oh, we have to be citizens to live a great life. This couldn't be farther from the truth. You can live abroad anywhere, mostly in the world, as an American currently, and you don't need citizenship. Now you can access residency permits, visas, they're all called different things, passes. But as long as you are abiding by the rules of a country, you can live comfortably without being a citizen. I have my US citizenship and I'll keep it until I won't. But, you know, you don't have to have citizenship to live a great life abroad. And so, no, I am not a citizen of Tanzania, nor am I a citizen of South Africa. Will I consider it? Absolutely. But in this time in my life, it's not important to me to have citizenship. It's just important to me to be legal and follow the rules of the government of the countries that I like to explore to be able to have a great experience, right? So we will have my personal attorney, April Ernest. She'll be joining and she'll be talking to you about ways in which you can access longer term residency, right? So some of you may qualify for retirement, some of you may qualify for students, some of you may qualify for work, business, investors. Zanzibar has issued a digital nomad visa. So there are many options, and her firm can even file the permits for you if you decide that it's something that you need. But legally, currently, as an American, you can travel Tanzania and come and go as many times as you please for 1 year for up to 90 days at a time, right? And then sometimes you can even extend that 90 days, right? But I'm not an immigration agent or consultant, so I can't give you No, these crows, guys. These crows, they're they're intense. They are so intense. Um, but yes, you can. You can live a great life without that. But she can actually file those permits for you. She'll be there. You'll get to ask her questions in detail about what that looks like for you. But you do not need citizenship to have a great life here in Tanzania. Um, all right. And for my South African family, y'all are visa free. They want to see y'all here. I've had so many South Africans tell me how they can't wait to visit Tanzania now since they're seeing my content. How it's beautiful here during our winters in South Africa, because I can't do Joburg winters. Maybe Durban will try it next year, but Joburg winters are not for me today. Okay, Sawa. All right, wonderful. I'll hop into questions in a moment, right? So, what is the next thing that you'll learn during the Travel Move Do Business virtual conference? You'll learn what it will cost you. So, a lot of people ask me that, how much is it going to cost me to move? I don't know where to start. So, those are two questions in one, right? The first, I'll start with the latter. How do you start? You start. You make a decision. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to research. And then I'm going to book a flight. Because guess what? Airports are here too. So you can book a flight and then you can always book a flight back, right? So don't make that first trip. It doesn't have to be the ultimate last trip, right? It can be your first experience. But you have to start somewhere. It has to go from being a dream to being an action. And that's how I started. I decided this is going to be an action. This will no longer be a dream. Once I booked my flight, then I began preparing for that date of travel. My experience was a lot different. I don't necessarily recommend it, but the flights go back and forth. And I knew if it doesn't work out, I can always go back. And I did. And I decided, oh no, this ain't for me. I'm leaving again. I'm out. I'm going back. Right. So that is possible. But how much is it going to cost you? Well, that depends, because it depends on your lifestyle. It depends on the things that you need. It depends on the quality of life that you have, that you want, that you desire. You can literally have whatever you want, but you're going to also pay for that. But you can decide, I want to downsize. I want to live a more humble, soft life. And you can do that too. For me, living in the US, a family of four, my expenses were well over $10,000 a month, right? In 2024, with inflation, that could probably be anywhere from $12,000 to $14,000 with inflation. Living here, my expenses were well under 3,000 a month. Huge difference. But how will you know what it's going to cost you? Well, you need to know what your monthly expenses are. It can't be, well, sometimes it's this or da da da, or I don't know. That's not an answer. I tell my daughters that all the time. I don't know is not an answer. I don't know, but I'll find out. That's an answer, right? So you need to find out what your monthly expenses are, and then you can expect to cut them from 30% to 50% less. Some people can get them down to 70%, right? But take that number, multiply it times three. That is the minimum that, in my opinion, you should move with if you're a family. If you're a family, I'd say for me, it was 9 months to a year, but that's just my financial readiness, my financial preparation. You have to know what that looks like for you. So we'll talk more in depth about that in the virtual conference to say, okay, well, what is your risk tolerance, right? Like, what type of saver are you? What type of spender are you? You need to know those things, because you can easily come to this side and be at the hotels every weekend, eating at the restaurants every day, and the money, the prices, it can add up. But if you don't have financial discipline where you are, it's going to be that much easier for you to not be financial disciplined in a place where you feel like the quality of life is better and the cost is less, right? Because nothing is cheap. We don't do that. We don't come and say, oh, this is so cheap. That is rude, it's disrespectful, and it's not kind, right? But we can say, wow, this is affordable. For what we're used to spending, it's affordable for you. And it can be, but it can also get really pricey, right? So it's just really important to know what your expenses are and be able to measure them. And I have a formula. I gave you some of the secret sauce, but I'll talk a lot more about that in the virtual conference this weekend, right? Okay, cost of living is low. Monthly expenses can be as low as 1,000. Yeah, I mean, this depends on your lifestyle, right? Very professionals make about $2,000 a month, um, that are professional lawyers, doctors, bank managers, and they live well off of that, right? But again, you're gonna have to know what works for you. And the last thing, a lot of people ask me, well, what's the job market like? Guys, family, you're not coming here looking for a job, right? We are coming here for one, a better life, but also economic freedom. So, as you know, on my channel, I talk about entrepreneurship. It is the only way to economic independence. Period. I've had jobs, I've had fantastic careers, I've made a lot of money working for someone else, but I also worked. I also lost a lot of freedom, stress, trauma in the workplace, right? We're not doing that. We are creating location independent businesses so that we can work from anywhere in the world. So I will also talk you through how I've been able to do that and how I've taught other people how to do that, to earn on their way to six figures, right? So you can be earning US dollar from anywhere in the world so that you can live anywhere that you want. I'm biased. I think it makes sense to live on the continent, and create economic other opportunities for other people. But I have a couple clients that move to Portugal, but most of my clients live on the continent, right? Whether it's Zanzibar, Tanzania, Kenya, or South Africa. And I've worked with attorneys, real estate agents, relationship coaches, yoga instructors, counselors, wellness spaces, spas, administrators, right? Holistic medicine experts. You just have to be able to solve a problem. So the last video that I posted about getting free, go rewatch that. That's the that's literally the game changer. You have to decide how you can serve others, how you can solve problems, because ultimately Africa is a place for problem solvers. It is not a place for problem complainers, right? Like the goal is to come with a consistent income stream so that you can then see opportunities, learn, rest, restore, because that's a whole nother thing. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in America and why you really need to be in a place of restoration mode. Because there is really a piece of not knowing what's happening. And I don't even know really, because I don't pay attention intentionally for my own peace and sanity and energetic protection. But that's the goal, right? And you can't do that when you're working remotely for someone or when you're tied to a job. So we teach economic independence, and we teach that through entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship through service, the service, to serve others. All right. So we'll talk you through that, talk about different opportunities that exist. Everything is here. You can do anything you desire here in Tanzania for the most part. There are some things that wouldn't necessarily be a fit, but for the most part, everything is available to you. Miss C says, yeah, before the US won't let you be able to leave. I don't know, but it's not looking good, right? It's not looking great. Let's say that. It's not looking great. Currently, as an American, we have an opportunity to travel. But I will tell you that the sentiment and the tone that we get treated, you know, Americans used to have all of this privilege, and there still isn't a good amount of privilege that we have. Top guys, losing weight. I always lose weight in Tanzania. Always, right? It's so it's just you're eating fruits and vegetables. I'm having some fresh juice, mango and ginger. But I digress. the sentiment of Americans is just not a positive one. I'll say that. I'll say people used to look at the America as the land, and it's not looked at that way. Now you have some that they don't see the news, all they see is the television, the movies, so they still have a desire. Those typically tend to be the lower skilled workers, not the higher skilled workers, because they are very well educated. They see what's happening. You do have some. I'm not going to say there aren't any, but those that see are saying, I don't know. And I also don't want these folks coming here, right? With that energy, with that negativity, with that violent energy, right? The fact that Americans are so desensitized to violence that we will be comfortable with watching the lynchings of people on our phones, sharing the video. That would never happen in this country. They can't even fathom it. I don't even know exactly what has happened, but I know enough to know that it is harvesting the energy that I don't want to be a part of, which is why I decided to leave that country to live in a place where I felt safe and secure. The police here do not carry guns. The military carry guns, or private security carry guns at banks. But like, the police don't carry guns, and they will never raise a gun at you, ever. That doesn't happen here. And it happens too frequently, too often, and it has become too normal that we'll turn around and then be celebrating someone that could easily change the legislation if they wanted to. But they somehow communicate. I'm not going to get into the politics, guys, because it's just not. It's energetically draining. I have no interest in it. I've divested. I've divested in a way that is just, y'all don't want to talk to me about it, because I don't it's not okay, and it's not a livable place, and I there's nothing that you could ever get me to say that's positive about living in an environment that forces people to live in violence and watch it happen all the time on their phones. That's just despicable to me, and I don't know. I don't want any parts. Zero. So Tato asks, when it comes to language, do you need to learn the languages and knowing enough English only? Will it be a little disadvantage or no disadvantage at all? So yeah, I think it's very important to know the language wherever you are, at the minimum of greeting, right? So greeting is super important in the African cultures, all of them. Not one is it appropriate to not greet. So I feel it very important to at least know how to greet. Now, there are also advantages in knowing how to speak the language. Of course, you can connect with people more, you can be received well, and then you can also know like, what things cost and not be totally blindsided by people charging you more money because you don't know how a tomato costs, or how much a juice costs, or how much a loaf of bread or a whole chicken. And so it is important to know the language. The advantage is you are connected more with the people. And the disadvantage is you are more disconnected, right? So you can't claim to be scammed or this or that if you don't try to attempt to learn the language. Um, so that's my perspective on the language. I think it's very important. I speak Swahili. I don't speak it conversationally, right? I can ask directions. I can ask for food on the menu. I can ask how much things are. I can ask for a discount. I can go to the market and order things, and even ask certain questions that I may not understand the entire statement, but I can take context clues and certain words and move accordingly. And sometimes I'm wrong, but most times I'm right. And I'm still learning. I love Tanzania, Jeff. I love Tanzania, but I also love South Africa, right? So I'm not moving to Tanzania, but I am grateful that I get to experience it whilst living in South Africa, right? Thanks so much. Jeff, you're Black American. You want Tanzania's country in Africa. Fantastic. Are you coming to the virtual conference this weekend? I hope so. You will get to hear from myself, my friends, my advisor, that will be teaching you their experience. They'll be sharing their experience. They'll be teaching you how they earn income, how they've invested in real estate, how they've started businesses. There's the website. You can head to the link. I think we've got less than 7 tickets. So you want to get your tickets at the link. I just posted it in the chat. The virtual conference is Saturday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to hear from my attorney, and other expats that have done it. Couples, started businesses, retired, people working digitally. You're going to want to join us there. Um, Absolutely. So, is it Lisi? You're starting a business, your VA business. So you're a service provider. You definitely want to join the virtual conference. I teach you how to do that, right? How to get your first 3-4 figure clients, right? So we teach that. We're teaching people that. I've taught people, my attorney that's in South Africa, a couple here that started their own relationship coaching business. I teach you how to get your first 4-figure clients and thrive in your business. AI tools, social media marketing, ultimately so you can work part-time and work from anywhere that you want, including a beachfront resort on a Monday. I know it's not Monday, it's Thursday, but I was here on Monday as well. Saving money is important, but earning money is more important, right? So earning more is more important than saving. Um, you have to have money. And no, Africa is not cheap, but you have to know how to earn, right? Know how to earn more. Saving is good, but earning is more important. I am a very aggressive saver, but I'm also a high income earner. And I teach people how to do that as well because we should be earning more. We shouldn't be trading our time for money. We should be earning money through multiple income streams. When I wake up, I get to see sales, and that's a dope experience. And I get to take my kids out for lunch to a nice 5-star restaurant because I sold a couple of guides, travel guides, resources to help people, right? So this is really about helping other people with the information that you have in your back pocket. Um, you are a retired disabled individual. So I think we spoke, and if Tanzania is not as accessible for individuals with disabilities. If you are wheelchair bound, it's not, right? But you can still live a great life here. You can live in a home that's one story, branch style. You can hire people to help you that will take very good care of you. I'd say mainland is a lot more accessible than Zanzibar, but it is possible, right? It depends on um, your disability. I hope I'm being politically correct, right? It depends on what that looks like. And oh, South Africa, absolutely. South Africa is a lot more. You've got lifts, you've got ramps, that type of lifestyle. You can absolutely live very well. Asante, Kaka. Um, Lizzie, you can find my resources. The link is here, Africa Investors Academy. Also, ashleyinafrica.com. The resources are always in the description of my videos. I'll put the link here as well. Ashleyinafrica.com. Is that it? Yes, yes. I hope it's clickable. So I'm currently in Dar es Salaam, but no, I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. So I'm here for another few weeks. Not long. I miss home. Can't wait to get home, but I'm enjoying here. I'm grateful that I get to have this experience, right? I'm really, really extremely grateful. The sun is setting, guys. I don't have my light, but it's setting beautifully. I'm glad we got this time. I want to see you at the Africa Investors Academy Travel Move Do Business virtual conference for Tanzania. You deserve a life where you feel at peace, where you feel at ease, where you get to be in the majority, where you get to move at the pace that you desire, where you get to feel safe. You deserve that life, right? And I want you to join us this weekend. We've got about less than 7 tickets left. Get the premium access pass. That is the ultimate hack because live. You get to work with us one-on-one. You'll get access to our information. I'm also going to give you all of my curated luxury travel guides of my travels in Zanzibar, Arusha, Kilimanjaro, Dar es Salaam. Yo, these mosquitoes, hey? So they are treacherous out here, but I'm so sweet that they just can't stay away from me, honey. But they are intense, so I got to go. Sun is setting, mosquitoes do what they do out here. So I want to see you there. If you have questions, email me. I'll do my best to answer you. But until video, guys, I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon.